Looks like it might still. Oh, hello there. It's Monday afternoon live stream here at Advanced. Welcome. I'm Peter, and I'm joined this week by Linda.
Hi, everyone. I'm Linda. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. Linda been away for a while, as you've probably noticed, but she's back with us now, and we're glad to have her back. But we are keeping an eye on the weather today, because that is our topic for today. I was just feeling a little, maybe a little precipitation, which is a big long word for something that falls from the sky, like
Wetness.
rain or snow. Yeah,
Yeah.
precipitation. So I'm taking cover with Advanced Magazine, the November issue. And this is also where we got our idea to talk about the weather today, as you'll see in today's newsworthy article. There is an article about the influence of extreme weather on the price of food. And that's a kind of a more serious take on the weather than we're going to do for you here today, but it got us thinking. The weather, you know, it's the number one small talk topic in the world, and
it's a topic that we're always talking about. I'm sure you probably talk about the weather a lot in whatever language you're speaking, but it's definitely a topic that I talk about a lot because we have to, you know, I mean, the weather is something that we deal with every day, and it affects our plans and whatever we're doing.
Exactly. It's something we all share in, every person on the planet. And so it's always something to talk about when you can't think of anything else to talk about. Hey, good to see you all chiming in already. Steve, good afternoon to you. Agatha, hi teachers. Hi Agatha. It is a little rainy today, depending on where you are. I live down in the Guting, Gongwan area, and it was a little rainy there this morning, but I come up here to Daja at the office. Not so rainy.
There was a little bit of rain.
Oh, there was this morning?
I was biking to work. Yes, I did feel some
There we go.
rain.
B, hello. Good afternoon to you. And Steve, already getting into the topic. All right, Steve. Sometimes cool and bright weather is my favorite because I like to celebrate Christmas during this great weather. Awesome, Steve. And yeah, Steve's referring to our poll, which we always like to begin with. So please chime in on that if you haven't already. What is your favorite kind of weather? Now, of course, there's a lot of different kinds of weather. There's wonderful variety in God's creation. So we've just given you 4 sort of basic categories here, but this is by no means the only ones. Right. Do you like hot and sunny, warm and a little rainy, cool and bright, or foggy and quiet? Linda, of those 4, what's your favorite?
Yeah, I would go with the one that is leading our poll right now, and that's the third one, cool and bright, in general. But I would say that it depends on my mood. I like different kinds of weather depending on how I'm feeling. For example, most of the time I want the day to be sunny and not raining. But there's some days I want it to be raining. I want it, like, I don't want to go outside, so I'd rather it to be raining, so it encourages me to stay indoors.
Right. Charlie Brown in the famous Peanuts comic strip with Snoopy and Linus and Lucy. Charlie Brown once looked out the window and said to a friend, "Oh, good, it's raining. I can stay indoors today. When it's sunny outside, I feel obligated to go outside and play."
I feel that way too. Like if it's sunny, oh, I should be outdoors, you know, doing something. Like I don't have an excuse to stay inside. Unless, of course, it's really hot and sunny, and then you don't want to be outside.
Right. And living here on our island, I think we all know that kind of hot and sunny weather. So, but David Lynn. Hello, David Lynn. Not sure I've seen your name before. Welcome. Good to have you. And Joshing. Nice to see you, Joshing. You've been here before. The weather is unpredictable, yes. And you like a cool day, not a scorcher.
Right,
good vocab there. A scorcher, very, very hot. Just really unpleasant. What does Sensei Tsai say?
Well, it's wonderful to swim during hot summer days. Yes, I totally agree. If it's hot, then you want to jump into some nice cool water.
Yes. And Selena. Hello, Selena. Talking about weather, it's good ice breaking, right? Between strangers, you can always talk about the weather because it's always there. We're always all dealing with it. Agatha, hello. California's autumn. Oh, California's autumn is my favorite weather. And Agatha, I know what you mean. I'm from the New England area on the other side of the United States. We have some pretty nice autumn weather up there too, some nice autumn colors as well. And Joy, good to see you again. I like cool and bright, so I like to spend my winter in New York, United States, baby. I know what you're talking about, Joy. Good to hear it. New York in autumn. I mean, it's like there's a movie with Richard Gere and Winona Ryder called Manhattan in Autumn or New York in Autumn or something. It's a romantic drama. But there's something about New York City and the season of autumn that there's a romance to it, there's a glamour to it.
Do you get the change of the leaves?
Like, oh, we do, yes. We get leaves. Them a little later than like northern New England, like Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont. They start changing around the end of September. In New York City, they don't start changing around till the end of October and into November. So it's wonderful there.
But I would say, there's something about really cold winters that, would not make me want to live through, let's say, a New York winter. Like if you get snowstorms and having to deal with all that snow. Yeah. And sometimes you just, it's too cold. I guess because I'm from the tropics. You know, I grew up in Miami and then I've been living here in Taipei for a long time. So I'm used to tropical weather. Yeah. And I would say probably the fall or autumn in a lot of places is our winter here. California, I was there during the summer and it felt so cold. Like it felt like winter here or
chilly California, here. Yes. Steve, hello. Speaking of autumn, did you celebrate Thanksgiving this year? It's coming up.
Yeah.
It's coming up. Good cue there.
Towards the end of this month.
It's always the last Thursday of the month.
The fourth Thursday.
Yeah, in the United States. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, just Linda mentioning that she's from Florida. Have you ever spent a cold winter anywhere? Have you had that experience?
I mean, where I went to college, it was cold, but then I would go home. So I got some of that winter. But in general, no, because home was always a nice sunny place. We did get cooler weather, but I've never had a white Christmas, when it's snowing. Yeah.
Well, because I will say one thing about growing up in the Northeast and having cold winters is that there's a great pleasure on a cold, wintry day, coming indoors, walking around outside and getting your cheeks all rosy and, see your breath and everything. And then you come indoors and it's like, and you get a nice hot something to drink, put on some slippers in front of the fire or on the rug with a good book, something like that. Not really, I mean, there are other pleasant experiences you can have in tropical climates, of course, but you can't really have that one. And that is one thing I love about place that has really cold winters.
Yeah, I do appreciate that because you get to wear your jackets and you get to wear winter clothes.
Right.
And so you get to enjoy that part. And of course, after being cold, coming in and being warm and having that nice hot cup of cocoa or whatever it is.
Exactly. And the closest we get, I think, in Taipei is you come in and get dry, because it'll often be raining here. And so that is kind of what the experience is like. But let's give you guys some vocabulary here to practice our English. Let's start off with a word that you might use when talking about the weather. Temperate. Kind of a long one. Temperate. Linda, what does temperate mean?
So if weather is temperate, it's neither hot nor cold. Not too hot or too cold. And another word that we'd use is moderate. So it's in between. It's not at either extreme.
Right. And temperate, you also can see in there the word temper. When we say a person loses their temper, it means they get very loud or very agitated or angry or something. So temper there is this idea of calm, like not too hot, not too cold, like Linda was saying. And that's a way to remember temperate in terms of talking about the weather. Okay. Selena says, I remember Canadian Thanksgiving is 1 month earlier than American. I did not know that.
That's right. It's in October. So I was going to mention that, the Canadians did celebrate their Thanksgiving already. They celebrate it 1 month before us Americans.
I see. Well, I hope all our Canadian viewers out there had a good Thanksgiving. Here's another vocab word for you. Talking about the weather, drizzle.
Yeah.
Drizzle.
And that's, I think, what we had this morning. Just a very, very light rain. So we call that a drizzle.
Right. Drizzle is, as far as I can tell, it's what rain is like during the winter months in Taipei. I've never seen really heavy thick rain in the winter months. It always seems to be a kind of drizzle that'll just sort of last all day long, go off and on. And you need an umbrella, but it's not terribly bad, but it just keeps coming. And so it's kind of, the drizzle. Agatha, do most Americans have more winter clothes than summer clothes, considering that winter is the shopping season and there are so many sales during it? Good question. As fellow Americans, maybe we can... I
think it really depends on where you are, because I would have much less winter clothes since the winter is much shorter and it doesn't get as cold.
Right. I think, most Americans probably do have more winter clothes. I don't know, though, because when in the summertime, you go outside more. And so you pay more attention to your wardrobe and what you have to wear in the summer weather. I think it might actually break about 50-50, just off the top of my head. Jiaxing, can I say it's spitting or sprinkling? Good question.
Sprinkling is okay.
Yeah.
You can say that it's the weather. How would we say that?
What's it doing?
It's a sprinkle. Yes, we can say it's a sprinkle.
And that basically means drizzle. In a way, sprinkle is kind of like a drizzle with a more positive aspect to it. Like, it's only a sprinkle. You probably don't need an umbrella, or it'll end soon or something. Whereas a drizzle is kind of like something you're stuck in. It's like not so bad,
it's more continuous.
It's more continuous.
Is probably shorter in length.
Right. You definitely wouldn't want to say spitting.
Yeah. No, because we immediately think of what comes out.
That's really just what human beings do. Yeah.
Yes, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Instead of saying drizzling. Yeah. Good question, Joshing. All right. Let's give you one more vocab, and then we'll get to our discussion question. Here's a nice weather term: muggy. M-U-G-G-Y. Muggy. It's muggy today.
We feel that a lot during the summer here in Taipei, and that just means it's very humid when there's a lot of moisture in the air and it's hot, and the mugginess or that moisture, humidity just makes us hotter.
Right, and you might have heard another English word, mugged, to get mugged, which means to be robbed or attacked in the street at some point in somewhere. And that's not the idea here, but it still has that kind of negative connotation.
Yeah.
You don't want a muggy day. It's like, I was going to go to the beach today, but it's just so muggy out there.
Muggy weather, you don't want to deal with. Yeah, it's usually quite negative.
And Agatha has a question. When we say the rain is pouring, does it mean a heavy rain? Yes. In fact, that's part of a vocab word we'll get to in just a moment. But yes, pouring. A drizzle is never pouring. A sprinkle is never pouring.
Right.
It's a sprinkle. It's just, a little bit of rain here, a little bit of rain there, drop there. Whereas that's, pouring. And Shinsei says, in Taiwan, winter clothes are less and less adopted. Yes, I suppose because we don't have that much winter, at least not in Taipei. You go into the mountains, it's another story.
Yeah. And Steve mentions Black Friday. Yes, so the day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday, and that's when stores traditionally have these crazy sales. And before it was, I would say, like it was a bigger, not necessarily a big thing, but you actually had better sales. Now everyone has Black Friday sales, but I don't really consider them like these like rock bottom prices. Before you could get really, really good deals. I mean, stores still will have good prices, but it's just not as big of a deal because you get sales at other times of the year.
Right, and isn't there something right after Black Friday now called Green Monday?
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday,
yes.
There you go.
Cyber Monday. So you're just continuously having these sales.
Sales and sales and sales.
But there are some, like Steve mentions, that customers will go line up at the store. Like they might go really early in the morning or probably after their Thanksgiving dinner and just go straight to the store so that they can get that deal.
Yeah. Joy, I hate the spark when I take off the sweater. Joy's talking about static electricity. And yes, sometimes when you wear a sweater, if it's very thick yarn and fluffy, and maybe you've been walking across a rug, then when you take it off, you hear this, sound, and that's that static electricity. You want to be careful not to touch anything metal right away because you get a little spark.
Yeah. And Jia, she bring up a good point. The difference between muggy and stuffy. Muggy, we definitely refer to the weather. I would say stuffy, we refer to the environment within a closed space.
Yeah.
So you would call a room stuffy.
Right. Stuffy, you could never be outdoors and say it's stuffy. it could be uncomfortable, it could be muggy, it could be humid, but you never say it's stuffy. Like Linda said, stuffy is specifically for a closed environment of some kind, a room, a closet, an attic. It's so stuffy in here, let's open a window.
But it's a similar feeling.
But it is a similar feeling, definitely. Yeah, just like, there's no air here.
Yeah.
It's too, I'm got too much clothes on. Joy, you can get a big sale today, 11/11 sale.
That's right. Singles Day is today in Asia.
Is that what that is? Okay, I don't think I knew that. But yeah, you guys are great chiming in here, practicing your English. We'll give you just an additional topic to chime in on, and that is, what is some unusual weather that you have experienced? Now, we're not talking about extreme or climate change or anything really in that category, but just some unusual weather. Like, for example, just over this summer, I think Linda was here too. We were all up in the office and we looked out the window and we could see there was storm clouds in the sky, and we could see a kind of greenish tint, a slight greenish hue to the sky. And that can sometimes, at least in America, that means a tornado may be on the way. One of those big funnel things comes down like that. Yeah. We didn't get one. It ended up, I think, just raining and maybe some thunderstorm. But that's unusual, even for me, coming from America. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, and we've also experienced weather in which we have, on one side, it's really dark and cloudy and looks like it's going to rain. And then on the other side, we see it's nice and sunny, And so we have these two different kinds of weather at the same time.
Yeah. We had multiple days like that over this past summer. I remember there was a period maybe at the end of August where we got a rainbow almost every week for 4 straight weeks. Just because of that, it's stormy over here but sunny over there, and so that's often when you get a rainbow, because then you get the prismatic effect going on with the water droplets.
The sunshine with the rain.
Yeah. Okay, we're just about winding down here, but let's just throw a few more vocasts. In fact, let's give you an idiom. 1 or 2 idioms here based on the weather, so you can work these into your speech. Here's one: rain on one's parade. To rain on your parade or rain on my parade. Linda, what do we mean when we use that?
So that's when you ruin something for somebody. You bring negativity into the situation. They're probably really happy about something, and then you rain on their parade. You tell them all of the negative things about it. And I will say, don't rain on my parade, Peter.
Don't rain on my parade. Don't bring me down. I'm in a good mood right now. I know there's maybe other things out there I have to deal with, but right now, I just want to enjoy this present moment, so don't rain on my parade. We got an B. Oh, and Steve, hello. Steve, I never experienced any unusual weather, but I remembered when I was watching Twisters, the movie, it is dangerous when they get into the tornado to catch it. Yes.
Yeah, don't go chasing tornadoes.
Yeah. Although I can recommend the Twister movie. I haven't seen the sequel. I saw the original one back in the 90s. That I thought very exciting. The sequel, I've heard mixed things about it. But if you see one movie about tornadoes, I recommend one of the 2 Twister movies. B says, when I got to New Zealand in February a few years ago, it was summer there while it was winter in Taiwan. Of course, the equator, differentiating the weather patterns and the
so
seasons.
The northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, the seasons are switched. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And Agatha, it's better to say negative things after the parade. Yes, exactly. Wait for the parade. Wait for the parade. Wait for the good mood to go by, the celebration, and then, all right, by the way, your house is on fire and your dog ran away or something.
By the way, you can see all of these vocabulary words in the description below.
Yes, all of these. That's every week, not just this week. But yeah, just a reminder that if you miss some of the vocab, want to review it, check the description comments below. Okay, last one. Steal one's thunder. To steal one's thunder sounds, almost godlike, but what do we mean when we use that?
So you're taking attention away from someone. Let's say I have a big announcement, I have these really great news, and I share with everyone, and then you come along and announce something else. So you're taking the attention away from, you're stealing my thunder.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily raining on her parade. It's more just I'm taking the attention away. I'm stealing the focus. And usually successfully. Usually we would use this expression after the fact. Like Linda would come up to me later and say, hey, Peter, you really stole my thunder there. I was trying to make a point. And I was like, sorry. Anyway, Well, that's just about it for today. We did want to throw a couple of announcements at you guys, some reminders that we here at ORTV Studio Classroom will be participating in the EDTECH exhibition, the EDTECH exhibition that's taking place Thursday through Sunday this week at the World Trade Center. If you want to hear about EdTech, educational technology is what that stands for. If you want to meet some of the teachers and learn about the latest developments in educational technology, you can find us. I don't think Linda and I will actually be there, but you can find us at B819, booth number B819. That's where you can find ORTV people and a couple teachers this Thursday through Sunday.
Our studio classroom
at
booth
the World
will be there.
Yes.
And there will also be talks in the afternoon, so check out the link in the description below and you can find out all of the different talks that are being given.
Absolutely. And talking about Thanksgiving and the holidays coming up, Christmas is coming, and that means the ORTV Christmas Rally that is taking place December 12th at 7:30 p.m. at TICC, the big theater there. It's called The Journey of Christmas. The Journey of Christmas. You can get your tickets now by going to the website, right?
Yes,
going to the company website.
Register and get your tickets.
Yeah. And so many of you. Agatha, the summer is extremely hot in California. Well, you and Linda will have to get together and compare notes. She thought it was pretty chilly. David Lynn, hello again. Rainy day would really ruin my camping plans. You like camping? Want to hear more about that in the future, David. Truly rains on my parade. Yes, exactly. Hong Jun says hi, and we say hi to you, Hong Jun. Thanks for joining us. Joy, again, you steal the host's thunder in an advanced episode. I assume AD stands for advanced.
Good
Linda,
use of the word.
Yeah,
Good use, yeah.
Steve says, thank you for today, teachers. I recommend Twister's sequel because me and my mom think it's really good. So looking for a good movie, Steve and Steve's son's mom think Twister's pretty good, gives it the thumbs up. Agatha, thanks so much. You have a good one too. Hong Jun, bye-bye. And bye-bye to everyone. We'll be back next week. So It's just a week we're away. We'll be back next Monday with another topic. Help you practice your English. But until then, stay dry. Because I'm still thinking we might get a drizzle before the end of the day.
Or just enjoy the drizzle, you know?
Well, yeah, unless that's your thing, you know, because some of us love to just walk around in the drizzle like that. For me,
it's just water.
I never answered the question, did I? Are we still on the air? Oh, we are. Okay. I think my favorite of those four kinds of weather is... Well, these days, I like a little foggy and quiet, actually, because it's usually warm enough here in Taipei for my tastes. But foggy and quiet, some days you just like to go to a park somewhere, some trees, and there's fog, and it kind of makes you forget about the city, the buildings and everything, the noise to some degree.
It adds an element of mystery.
An element of mystery,
faces.
yeah, just sort of walking through. And the way the fog has a kind of muffling effect, too, on noise and on activity. There's something, the fog kind of just slows us down somehow. So I wouldn't want it to be foggy and quiet every day. That'd be a little spooky, but definitely now and then I enjoy a nice foggy and quiet day. All right, so we have time for one more here. I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Are we still on the air? We're not? Okay, so let's do one more idiom. Throw caution to the wind. Throw caution to the wind. And when we do that, what are we talking about?
That we're not being really careful. Yeah. If you throw something to the wind, like it will just be taken by the wind and blown around. So when you throw caution to the wind, you don't really care, or you don't care about the consequences that will happen if you act recklessly.
Yeah, it can cut either way. Sometimes it's good to throw caution to the wind and, just take a chance on a new restaurant or a new relationship or a new movie or something. But sometimes, what are you doing? You're just throwing caution to the wind. You're taking a big risk here, and it might not pay off.
Right.
So,
and I'm afraid that's all the time that we have for today. All right. So come back next week for our next live stream.
We will be back. Good to see you all. Take care.